Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be looking at this lovely monarch butterfly. So let's get started. Now, this guy landed on a leaf just as I was walking past. And look how beautiful it is. You know, these butterflies are so cool because they migrate hundreds of miles each year. In fact, over 3,000 miles each year. Can you imagine? They also live in almost every country on Earth. The only countries that don't have them are like Antarctica and some islands out there, but pretty much everywhere else. There's many different types of monarchs. I believe there's about 100 different types of monarchs around the world. As I said before, the monarch butterfly is one of the most well-known butterflies in the world. It's a large butterfly with a wingspan of 4 inches. Their upper wings are orange with black veins, and their undersides are black with white spots. Now, when they migrate in groups. In fact, millions of them. When you see this, it looks so cool, so pretty. But what they're actually doing is getting ready to hibernate. They find a tree to huddle up on with all their friends, and then they basically just wait until spring to come back again. The monarch butterfly gets its name from King William the Conqueror, a king of England from 1066 to 1087. He was called the Conqueror because he conquered a lot of land for England, including Ireland, Wales, and northern France. So that's where they got the name from, but I think they could have picked a better name. How about a blue one? But monarchs are facing a lot of trouble now, such as habitat destruction and climate change, which is hurting their food source, which is plants. Also, pesticides are hurting them, and so are diseases. So as you can see, there's many things that are hurting the monarchs. Monarchs typically live between 2 and 5 days, but there's some reports of them living up to 7 days. It depends on the generation that they're in. If they're born in the spring, they only live for 2 or 3 weeks, but if they're born in the fall, they can live up to 8 months. That's crazy. I mean, normally when I'm born in the fall, I only live for a couple of weeks. Just kidding. So, the main thing that monarchs eat is milkweed. They also eat other plants, but milkweed is their favorite. And fun fact, female monarchs lay their eggs on milkweed plants. So as you can see, they love this plant, and monarchs are famous for their migration patterns. Every year, they travel thousands of miles across North America. This journey takes several generations of monarchs to complete. The first monarchs to arrive in the spring lay eggs near milkweed plants. When their offspring hatch, they mate and then die. The next generation continues the migration until they reach Canada and the northern United States, where they mate and lay eggs. The eggs hatch into male and female monarchs, who mate with each other before heading south. This journey can take up to 6 months, and the monarchs travel up to 60 miles per hour. That's pretty fast. There's even a story about the monarch butterfly in the Bible. In the book of Exodus, God tells Moses to turn his staff into a serpent. And when Moses threw down his staff, it became a serpent. Some people think that this is the first recorded sighting of a monarch butterfly in the Bible. Monarch butterflies are found on every continent except Antarctica. They prefer to live in areas with lots of milkweed plants, which grow in fields and meadows. They're also found in gardens, parks, and along roadsides. Monarch butterflies are active during the day and sleep at night. They usually sleep by huddling together in groups. They're also very social animals and will communicate with each other by releasing pheromones. Pheromones are chemicals that help them communicate with each other. They use them to attract mates, find food, and warn each other of danger. Monarch butterflies are also known for their bright orange color. This helps to warn predators that they're poisonous. They get their poison from eating milkweed, which is toxic to most animals. This makes them an excellent source of protein for birds and other animals that eat them. However, monarchs are poisonous to eat. Monarch butterflies are also very good at camouflage. They can blend in with the colors of the flowers they visit, which helps them avoid predators while they're feeding. They can also mimic the flight patterns of bees, which helps them avoid being eaten by birds. Now, monarchs aren't the only ones that do this. There's also viceroy butterflies. They often mimic the flight patterns and colors of other butterflies and moths. For example, viceroys may mimic the monarch butterfly, the owl butterfly, or the blue mofo. They do this to avoid being eaten by predators. Sometimes they even mimic the flight patterns of dragonflies, which are not butterflies. They do this by flying erratically and suddenly changing directions. This makes it hard for predators to catch them. Also, some viceroys have tails on their wings. They may use these tails to confuse predators or to help them balance while flying. Some people say that the tails also help them to hide their undersides, which are often brightly colored. This may startle predators if they're trying to eat them. Also, the tails may make the butterfly look bigger, which can scare off predators. Some viceroys have eye spots on their wings. Eye spots are round marks that look like eyes. They may help the butterfly to scare off predators or to confuse them. Some people say that eye spots can also help the butterfly regulate its body temperature. And fun fact, butterflies taste with their feet. They have taste receptors on their feet that allow them to taste the plants they land on. This allows them to find plants that are suitable for laying eggs on. Alright, it's time for some fun facts, so here goes. 1. Monarch butterflies can travel up to 60 miles per hour. That's really fast. 2. They can migrate over 3,000 miles each year. That's crazy. 3. They live in almost every country on Earth. 4. They live for 2 to 5 days, but some can live up to 7 days. That's really long for a butterfly. 5. They get their name from King William the Conqueror. 6. They're facing a lot of trouble, such as habitat destruction and climate change. That's sad. 7. They only eat milkweed. That's interesting. And 8. They're poisonous to eat. That's cool. Alright, it's time for the big question. Should monarchs be kept as pets? Well, I don't think so. They're beautiful creatures and it would be a shame to keep them as pets. They should be free to roam the earth and migrate wherever they want. Plus, they live for only a few days. So, you wouldn't be able to keep them for very long anyway. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.